Today, we're talking about a real game changer in naval aviation, India's twin-engine deck-based fighter, or as you'll hear it called, the TEDBF. Now, this isn't just another fighter jet, it's a massive statement about India's ambitions both technologically and militarily.
Welcome to the Global War Watch Network. Let's get straight to it. And really, this is the headline you need to know. India's next-generation carrier fighter has officially left the drawing board. It's not a what-if anymore. It has a deadline. And believe me, the rest of the world is sitting up and paying very close attention. The stakes here are just enormous.
Now, before we jump into the nuts and bolts, if this is the kind of analysis you're into, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's a huge help and lets us keep making these explainers for you.
So here's the game plan for today. We'll start with that all-important deadline. Then we'll look at where this jet gets its DNA. After that, we'll get under the hood, see how it stacks up against the competition, and finally, talk about what this all means for India's place in the world. All right, first things first. A deadline has been set. This is the single biggest piece of news. It means the project is shifting gears, moving from theory into a full-throttle, high-stakes race to reality. This is a brand new era for India's naval air power. And here's the magic number, 2028. That's the year the Aeronautical Development Agency says the TEDBF will take its very first flight. Now, let's be clear, that is an incredibly ambitious timeline, and it signals just how serious they are about getting this machine into the hands of the Indian Navy, fast.
So you're probably wondering, how in the world can they move that quickly on such a complex project? Well, it's because the TEDBF isn't starting from scratch. It's being forged from Indian giants, standing on the shoulders of decades of hard-won experience from the country's other major aviation programs. Think of it like building a supercar. You take the battle-tested chassis and engine from one program and combine it with the futuristic electronics of another. The TEDBF gets its ruggedness from the naval version of the LCA Tejas. That's where they learned the brutal physics of landing a jet on a moving carrier. Then it inherits its brains and stealth from the AMCA program. We're talking cutting-edge radar-absorbing skin and all the next-gen avionics. The TEDBF is the best of both worlds, rolled into one superior package. Okay, so let's pop the hood and take a look at the hardware. What exactly makes the TEDBF such a beast? Let's start with what really matters in a fight, its punch. This jet is designed to carry a maximum payload of 9.5 tons. Now, that's not just a big number. It means this plane can do it all, from air-to-air dogfights to taking out enemy ships with heavy missiles, all in the same mission. And it's not just about what it can carry, but how far it can carry it. We're looking at a combat radius of over 1,500 kilometers. For the Indian Navy, that's a massive leap in reach. It creates a huge bubble of influence deep into the Indian Ocean and well beyond. But the real magic is the tech packed inside. It's the whole package. You've got stealthy engine inlets, an Indian-made AESA radar that gives the pilot basically superhuman awareness, and two powerful GE F414 engines to provide the raw thrust you need to get off a carrier deck. And here's the really smart part. It's built to be future-proof. It can handle today's ski jump carriers no problem, but it's also ready for the catapults on the carriers of tomorrow. So the jet sounds impressive on paper, but the real question is, how does it stack up against the reigning champions of the carrier world? India isn't just trying to build a good fighter, they're aiming to build one that can take on the very best. Let's put this in perspective. You've got the heavyweights, right? The French Rafale-M and the American FAA-18 Super Hornet. These things are legends, battle-proven, and reliable. But the TEDBF is playing a different game. It was designed from day one with advanced stealth in its DNA, something those older jets had to adapt to. And maybe the biggest advantage of all? It's homegrown. That means total control. No asking for permission for upgrades, no supply chain issues. That is a massive strategic trump card. And that brings us to the big picture, which is maybe the most important part of this whole story. This jet isn't just a piece of military hardware. It's a central piece of India's grand strategy for the 21st century. If you want to understand the scale of this commitment, look no further than this number, 145. That's how many of these jets the Indian Navy says it needs. This is not some small niche program. The TEDBF is set to become the absolute backbone of India's carrier fleet for decades to come. So here's the bottom line. The TBVF is the cornerstone for two of India's biggest national goals. The first is self-reliance. building its own advanced defense tech without relying on other countries. And the second, projecting serious, credible air power across one of the most vital maritime regions on the planet.
Which leaves us with one powerful, lingering question. Is this the aircraft that will lock in India's naval dominance for generations? With the technology it's packing and the strategy behind it, that is exactly the goal. The road to that first flight in 2028 is going to be fascinating to watch.
And that's a wrap on our explainer. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us here on the Global War Watch Network to get a handle on this incredible program. But now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the TEDBF? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this useful, a like, share, and subscribe would be amazing. And be sure to follow us on social media. All the links are right there in the description.